Thanks to Lifen for sponsoring this video.
Apple's coming with some new stuff. One of them you're gonna hate.
Welcome to All Future, where we talk all things Apple, tech, various different AI subjects throughout the week. If you're enjoying these videos, we really appreciate you watching and subscribing. And today we are talking about 10 new Apple products that have leaked. And some of these are patents, so they're very small form leaks, like of things we could see in the future, and some of these are products or software features we know are coming very soon. So the first one is the Apple Glasses, or as I'm going to call it, Apple Sapphire. The thing that leaked is dual gaze tracking, which is essentially just tracking from both sides, I believe, of your eyes and your gaze. It's kind of like the eye tracking that is in the Apple Vision Pro in practice, and it's just something that they're working on and patenting for a future version of Apple Glasses. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, cool. We're going to see more and more of these. Just last week, we saw some patents for some display technology to go in the glasses. If Apple wants to make the dream version of this thing like we want them to make, they're going to have to patent a lot of things because you're going to need to figure out a lot of problems.
Yeah.
The screen, the eye tracking, right? Like all these things that currently need this massive, double the size of ski goggles freaking thing to do to make all that fit just in a normal pair of glasses. You're going to have to invent some new stuff. This eye tracking thing seems to make a lot of sense. It's kind of the reason for it existing is to help place objects in 3D space better via tracking where your eyes are actually looking at, so it can manipulate the space and make it artificially appear like it's in your actual environment.
Yeah.
Cool stuff. Something that I think the Vision Pro does pretty good. I'm excited about this, but I will say the thing I say every time we talk about Apple patents a lot of stuff that never gets made, that's never really in a product. So it's hard to say where this is going to go. And we're still in the infancy of Apple's AR kind of play with the Vision Pro, which evidently is being put on pause right now to just develop the cheaper version of it. I could even see parts of these guys going back to the drawing board and just being like, hey, let's wait another 5 years till we can make the glasses, which is, I really think, the optimistic timeline for something like this is probably 5 years out.
Yeah. So the ideal version of this in the future is an AR or VR situation, but it's real AR to where you're actually looking at your world through glasses, and then it's imposing stuff on top of it, and it's completely understanding what's going on. So you're walking down the street, a text pops up if you want it to, and it pops up exactly where you want it to. It makes sense regarding what you were looking at and everything. And then it could do things like give you mapping directions in real time, telling you, pointing to exactly where you want, all sorts of stuff like that, health tracking, everything you could imagine that the Apple Vision does, it would be in these glasses and small on your head. So let's say that comes out and it's functional and it's a standalone device. How much would you pay for that?
If it does everything you're talking about, I don't think it's crazy to be in that $1,000 price range, right? Like the kind of cost of an iPhone or an iPad or something like that now, so somewhere between $999 and $1,299 or something like that. That seems real. If it delivers on all of that stuff, yes, I will buy it. And yeah, I'll pay about $1,000 for it. Speaking of things that I'll buy and maybe pay $1,000 for, HomePod with a screen and AI. That's the next thing we got to look at is that, and there's been a rumor of this for a little bit, but there's been new code, and normally in kind of code when they're talking about HomePods, they actually call them audio accessories is how it's listed in the actual code for devices. This is called a home accessory, is the new line of code that's been discovered. So technically home accessory 17.1 is the name of the kind of thing they found here. 95 Google or 95 Mac found it rather, which is funny because they don't even talk about Macs anymore on that. So it's just 95 Apple. That's what it should be. But
true,
neither here nor there. It seems like this is coming. Some things we know, right, is that current HomePods are not going to get Apple Intelligence simply because they do not have the power. So if you want a dream smart home system, another thing we've talked about that we really want, you're going to need a new device. Probably this HomePod with a screen. So I'll turn it back around to you with the question. You gonna pay for this thing? How much you gonna pay for this?
That's a good question. Yeah, with the screen, if it's giving me AI capabilities, and maybe if it can operate as somewhat of a hub that extends my current HomePods, that's the dream, and like enables my other HomePods to get that good Siri just by communicating with that main hub. I could actually see me paying, I don't know, maybe $7.99.
Woo! $7.99.
I could.
$7.99 for a HomePod's getting up there, man.
Yeah, but with a screen, with everything we're talking about, I don't know. Maybe that is a lot. Maybe $4.99.
Yeah, that sounds like
That sounds like a
$500 needs to be the zone on this,
Yeah.
right? Like, I mean, HomePods are already expensive for what they are in a lot of ways. I think they sound great. We've talked many times how we own too many HomePods.
Yeah, and that's why they're expensive. Is because Apple went, this is a great speaker.
Yes, the great hardware, whatever. I think for most people though, they're like, "Come on, man, this is nuts. This is nuts. Well, I'm not gonna pay for this thing." So yeah, you need to offer a lot more. I like your idea of buying a new HomePod that acts as the smart home hub, and it will tie into your old system so it can do Apple Intelligence stuff. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
That would I'm 100% in at that point.
Yeah.
But I've always liked the idea of a HomePod with a screen. Other smart home systems have some kind of screen option on the Amazon, the Google side. So, yeah, this makes a lot of sense to Apple to eventually get involved with this. And I hope this is soon.
Yeah.
I hope I don't think it is. I think this is a 2025 thing probably, right? Because one, they're not going to launch it until Apple Intelligence is in more full swing and they're actually doing stuff. But yeah, I'm in on this. I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be cool.
Yeah, I've talked about the idea of like a MagSafe modular design or something where you can just pop an iPad on there.
Yeah.
I would love that, but they're Apple. They're not going to do that.
They're
not going to do that.
And the rumor is this is running some kind of version of tvOS, which kind of makes sense because tvOS can already do a lot of these smart home kind of things you want to do. It already has Siri integrated into it. You can already tie into cameras. So like other stuff is that you would do with a smart home, it would run on tvOS. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
The entertainment stuff, obviously the music stuff, temperature stuff, all these kind of things can run through tvOS. So yeah, I think this would be super cool.
Yeah, and then it's kind of like an optimized always-on display, probably.
Oh yeah, I like that too.
Yeah, but next up is things we are not getting. These are the current rumors about Apple Intelligence. And we've known for a while, we've been talking about the fact that most of the Apple Intelligence features are not coming until 2025. But now we know that these big ones are the ones being left out, at least at launch, and we'll be waiting quite some time for. So first, any other language besides US English is not coming at launch. So any market...
Sorry, Australia, and your Australian English.
Yeah.
You're never going to be able to use this.
Any market that is not using US English is not going to be able to get these new Apple Intelligence features, especially at launch. And then email sorting's not coming. The specific things where Siri can basically do anything on your phone that you can do, that's not coming at launch. Upgraded contextual Siri, and then Siri on-screen awareness, where it's looking at your phone at all times and understanding what's going on, so you can ask questions about what's on screen. Also not coming at launch. To me, the number of, it seems like almost a backtrack from the event. They weren't clear. They said this stuff is coming and it's rolling out, and they gave us all of that language to cover their bases. So they didn't lie to us about a timeline here. But it's like we got so excited about these features and they got everyone hyped. And then this rollout is going to take quite some time. I don't know. I feel good about them doing it because they're going to probably make sure they do it correctly and don't roll out these things in a bad way. But at the same time, it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I imagine all this is pretty fluid still. Like we see a new list every week, it seems, with this is what's going to be in it. This is the features that are delayed, whatever. So I doubt Apple's really made final calls on some of this stuff yet. But that is going to be the headline story, though. Like there's going to be so many Apple's already... They put themselves in a weird spot with this because people are already so excited about this phone because of the AI features. Apple stock been on a pretty good run because they announced all this AI stuff. And then at launch, there's going to be a lot of news stories that are exactly like we're saying right now. And it's all like, wait to buy the iPhone because it doesn't have all the cool stuff you want yet. So I guess we'll have to see. I'm okay with them waiting until it works right. Because it's a worse PR disaster to release it and it's a failure than it is to say, hey, we're another month out so you guys can use this.
Yeah.
So yes, that's where I'm at on it. You guys know what we love on this channel? When technology comes together to make our lives a little bit better. And there's a great example of that with today's sponsor, the Lifen Wave.
This is a really awesome toothbrush, and I've been traveling with this, and what I love about this in particular is the size of it. It's a lot easier to travel with. It's just really good. And part of that comes with the 60 degrees of oscillation and vibration combined. So it has a proprietary servo motor that delivers this with 0.1% accuracy. And the bristles are in particular very gentle on your gums.
All those specs are exactly what dentists recommend. So this thing is really engineered to be exactly what your teeth need.
Unboxing this was a particularly great experience. And what I really love about charging it is it's a magnetic fast charging cable that just clicks in really nicely.
This thing is just really well thought out, well designed. I just love when a product is made like this where you can tell the people making it wanted the users to have a great experience. Another great thing, affordable brush head replacement, so you can keep the thing working great for as long as you want.
This is the stainless steel version of the Lifen Wave, but they also make white and aluminum alloy, and you can check all of these out by clicking the link in the description below. Next up is, for me, a pretty exciting one, and that is that a rumor that Apple is working on an Apple Watch SE Lite of some sort. And right now, Apple Watch pricing, it starts at $249 for the SE. Then Series 9 is $399, Ultra 2 is $799, and then the Hermes one is $1,249. Not sure how many people are going for that one, but right now it starts at $250, which is a pretty good price for what it offers today, but it still uses aluminum. And the rumor is they're going to cut cost even further on the SE by moving to plastic. And the competing smartwatch from Samsung, their cheapest watch starts at $199. So the rumor is Apple's going to be trying to get to that price point or potentially even lower. And I'm definitely for this because, so if you're trying to value health and trying to optimize things and starting to understand things and track things, it's really kind of become an essential tool, and it just works so well and so easily, tracking basic things. And then you start recognizing like, oh, it's actually doing stuff that's good for health in general. Like I could do sleep tracking if I'm having any sort of sleep issues. It's taking my heart rate throughout the day, and I can see where it's elevated and where it's lowered. It has alerts to you if you have some issue, and I think like the current one can do a ECG. And so there's all sorts of health stuff in the watch. So getting that price point even lower to where more people can get this, I'm all for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, why would, who would be against a cheaper watch? I don't know, maybe people who don't want the watch to become just more of a cheap Apple product instead of like a fashion thing or something like that. I'm curious, does this mean they're going to pass that savings on to consumers? Are they doing this so they can have a sub 200, or are they still going to make it cost $250 and it just costs cheaper for them to make it?
Yeah, and they brand it something really cool.
Yeah, they'll call it. They won't call it plastic. They're going to start like a space age composite that'll whatever, something like that. Maybe so. Do you have an aluminum Apple Watch, or do you have a stainless steel?
Aluminum.
Oh,
right.
I don't know. Do you? I have stainless steel. Do you?
Aluminum.
Yeah. I mean, like, feel like the weight difference on it, like.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't wear the aluminum ones, man.
Why not?
I need the metal one. Like I just need the metal one. Like it just feels better when I put it on. Did you wear watches before the Apple Watch? Were you a watch guy?
No.
Yeah, I've always worn watches, right? So like,
so you need the feeling.
I need the feel
watch.
of a watch. Yeah, like
that
so,
makes
like
sense.
it feels weird when it's like too light. I'm like, what is this? This is like confusing. So I like that heft, which is stupid. So yeah, so every time I get an Apple Watch, I'm paying $200 more or whatever it is for the stainless steel. But I like that there's that option, like that line. You know, like I would still like them to be like a $1,000 edition version. Like that white ceramic was cool as hell. Like it'd be neat if they still had that. Like. But I think it's a good thing to have that variety in the lineup, open up to as many people as possible. It has over time become, like you said, much more a health accessory than a fashion one or tech one, maybe, or however you want to word it. So yeah, let people, more people have it. This seems like something that is likely to me. So yeah, cool.
Yeah, great. speaking of sensors and things that the Apple Watch has, the rumors right now are that it's not going to be having blood pressure monitoring and sleep apnea in the Series 10 or the Ultra 3. So those are the next big watch releases we're expecting. And blood pressure monitoring has been rumored for a long time that they'd be bringing that, but apparently it's not up to Apple's standards right now. And when they are going to bring it in what is now the long future, it's going to just kind of alert you that it's too high. It's not going to be giving you an accurate reading whenever you need it. And then the sleep apnea features are actually not there because of their lawsuit. So they have this lawsuit going right now with Masimo Corp, and the blood oxygen saturation detection has had to be removed from the watch because of this lawsuit. You've probably heard about this. I think Apple Watches were like briefly not on sale in certain markets as a result of this. And yeah, these two features are unfortunately not going to be coming to the next watch. And hopefully they come in the future though.
Yeah, bummer. It seems more and more like I feel like 2-3 weeks ago we were psyched about this new Apple Watch, and that's like every week it's like, oh, but now it's not going to have this. Now it's not going to have this. So, bummer. Those things seem cool. I think we're going to eventually get them. So, but yeah. Another year or two, I guess.
Yeah. I think one thing a lot of people don't entirely realize too is like getting these sensors on the watch is very impressive.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like,
it's crazy.
How
the blood
getting it
oxygen
down
thing, like,
in that price. Yeah.
This is nuts. This is nuts. These were like, these are hugely expensive other machines and much larger machines that you would need to do some of this stuff. I say hugely expensive, but not cheap and not small, right? Like, so it's like now having it all built on your wrist. That's pretty cool. Like I have a blood pressure machine, and I want to say it was like $50 or something. It's this whole thing you got to strap on and do. That's like it's much cooler if it was on my watch. I never use it, so that shows you. That, I'm like, it's more. So I'd rather something on the watch, just like, hey, go check this out. Like that'd be cool. Yeah.
Speaking of features like that in the long future, reportedly they are trying to work on glucose monitoring, which is a pretty big one that hasn't been able to be achieved on the wrist yet. So I don't know. That's really cool.
Yeah,
just in the future, having every possible thing just in the watch is pretty awesome.
That is pretty cool. And when they do that, I'll learn what glucose is.
Yeah.
So.
Next up, so the Apple Watch X. Speaking of it not being very exciting, is essentially it's just going to have a faster chip, a slightly bigger screen, and be a little bit thinner. So we were expecting this whole redesign where it's in line with like the new iPad, thinnest watch ever. It's going to be totally different, Apple Watch X, and now it's just kind of the same.
Bummer. But who knows what's going on with this? I feel like every year there's like this hype for like a new look for the Apple Watch, and every year they're like, well, we've got a slightly different curve on it now, you know, so it's like not that big a deal at all, you know. I guess we'll see. In a way, I'm kind of relieved. Because I was already like, I have to buy that new iPhone, and they got a new Apple Watch. I gotta get that. And now I'm like, oh, well, it's a little less hit on my wallet. So thanks, Apple.
Yeah. So I'm on Series 7. What series are you? 6?
6, yeah.
Yeah. So what would it have to bring to get you to upgrade?
Something, not a glucose monitoring. I'll tell you that. I don't even like it's gonna have to do something crazy. I think a new design. I want a new design. Like that's really it. Like at this point, like I don't. All the health stuff's cool. Like I'm glad it's there, whatever. But that's not enticing me to upgrade. Maybe if I don't know, I was trying to think of some AI stuff it could do or something like that. Like something like that, maybe. But I honestly think a new design would get me excited. It would get me excited about buying the watch. That's a thing that you're looking at a lot. It's literally on your body. Like the design of it is important to me. So if I'm going to be enticed to get it, I want something that I feel really good about putting on every day. And like I said, I'm a watch guy. I've got several nicer watches. So like I like that feeling of putting something cool and well designed on. So
yeah, that makes sense. Because for me, it was just like a health accessory at first, and now I'm wearing it all the time.
Yeah.
And I swap bands to match certain things, but. Yeah, now you have me like, oh, I just have the aluminum one. All right.
So lame.
But apparently these next two watches coming out are not going to have Apple Intelligence stuff in them, but they're laying the groundwork for that in the future, which I'm not entirely sure what all of that means, but it's probably some sort of chip within it that works with Apple Intelligence to a degree and just communicates better with your phone to get those features really fast. So Cool. Apple Watch.
Apple Watch, cool. Other outside stuff, kind of rounding things up here. Apple working on a toolkit to port Mac games to iOS. Apple's certainly been making kind of a gaming push the last few years. This anything, and they seem to be just making it as easy as possible. They're like, if you make a game, come on over, man. Come make it on our stuff. Like, we make it on all our platforms. Like, whatever you need to do. And I think because they know how much money they get from services. So like they're like, please, more games on everything, more microtransactions that we get a cut of. Do whatever you want to do. Apple, no stranger to the gaming space. They made the Pippin in the 90s with Bandai, which is kind of their at-home console thing, I guess. Years Mac was kind of derided. It's like, oh, Macs aren't for gamers. Probably still true in a lot of ways. But they've been courting them. I think this is a good thing. And more people, giving people more options to make more things or play the things on the platforms they want to, I think is good.
Yeah, definitely. Next up, Safari version 18 beta is already out, and it's something you can download without having to actually get macOS Sequoia in beta form. And so it includes things like AI summaries and highlights. And yeah, that's just a cool thing that you can already try this out. It's still a beta, and it replaces your current Safari. So if you heavily rely on Safari, you might not want to go for a beta yet, because those can have issues, and then reverting is a little bit difficult. But yeah, we're seeing some of those improvements coming, and you can try them out today. And there's certain things we are not going to see until the full version comes in Sequoia itself, but that's a product that Apple has already released.
Seemed cool. I haven't tried it yet. I'm going to try it after we shoot today. I'm going to go download the new, and I want to see what the AI summaries look like and how it works. I use the reader mode a lot in Safari, you know, so I'm like curious as how, I'm done it. Try it out, check it out, check out the new stuff. Speaking of things to check out, a thing that I'm not looking forward to checking out is this new Photos app redesign.
Yeah.
And mainly because I can already hear my mom is going to be so mad about this. She's going to be so mad about this. I feel like the current one is pretty good. It's effective. It uses Apple's kind of design language for iOS, and then it's the menus at the bottom. It's laid out pretty well. People who've gotten to try this new version of it are kind of iffy about it.
Yeah.
And these are early adopter people. So when the early adopter kind of stuff is already like, I don't know about this, that means regular people are going to be like, what the F, dude? Like, what is this? So I'm curious as to how this is going to play out. I'm sure it's one of those things that within 6 months, everyone will be used to and not care about it anymore. But that initial transition, I think, is going to be rough just because of Apple's kind of rethinking how photos are laid out on your phone and how you get to them, which is something I think people use a lot. So people are going to notice it.
Yeah. So yeah, we're already seeing that in beta form and people starting to complain about it. So we will see if they have to change it or if we just all get used to it, which is probably more of what it's going to be. But one thing I'm kind of looking forward to finish up here is, it's a small thing, but Apple Insight coming to tvOS. This isn't really a leak. They showed us this at the event, but I'm not sure everyone quite grasped this. Essentially, if you're watching a show on Apple TV, you can do the thing where you kind of like, I think, tap on the remote, and then it'll show you insight into that. It will show you what song's playing and what actors are currently on screen. So this is just like the X-ray thing that Amazon has. And I'm all for this because anytime I'm watching something off of Amazon, I'm oftentimes on IMDb checking things. And I like this for that ease for people like me who check into that. And then also just the fact that people who would never have checked into that and never check, don't even know what IMDb means, now can get info, know who the actors are, know who the song is by, who created this thing.
I like that. I like giving credit to the artists that are making this stuff. And yeah, same, man. I'm always looking up stuff. I'm always Shazamming songs that are being played. Yeah, I'm super I love this feature. I don't know why we saved this for last. This should be the dang headline of this video. I'm excited for this. I have a few Apple TVs, so maybe I'll load the beta on one, kind of see what's up and mess around with it a little. There's some other stuff in the beta too that I'm kind of neutral on or don't care about. The subtitling kind of stuff and all that. Boo, subtitles. But if you are have healthy hearing and you're using subtitles, get out of here. Get out of here.
What if you have an AC unit right next to your TV?
Turn the volume up. What do you like? What do you?
Some of them are pretty loud, man.
Well, then you laid out your house poorly. Like, what are you doing? Like, why is there an AC unit next to your TV? It doesn't make any sense. So I don't know what to tell you.
All right. Well, those are the 10 products leaked and coming from Apple soon.